relatives and family members all of a sudden saying, hey, say you won $10,000 or $100,000. You'll have people just calling you up saying, hey, can I borrow some money?
You should do it on April 1st, and then when they come there, have to say, hey, April Fools, thanks for playing along. Have a nice day.
Yeah, I'd like to do that. Oh, well, see, we can change it a little bit out of the paranormal into a little bit of humor here tonight, can't we?
You never know. You never know. Need a little humor sometimes.
Yeah, but question, don't you ever, like when you go into a cemetery at night, I mean, not just maybe evil spirits or a zombie come after you. I mean, there could be some psychos out there that should have been in a mental ward, like hanging out to the cemetery, thinking about, hey, we're just waiting for some idiot to go walking around the cemetery at night, being cool that we can turn around and put a knife in there, You're
exactly right. There's more dangers in what you call the urban jungle than of the living than the dead, obviously. Yeah. And I was almost an idiot one time. It wasn't a cemetery. Remember the story I told you on Halloween night? Matter of fact, it's coming up on, oh my God, it's coming up on almost 30-year anniversary. Remember when I snuck up on that bonfire with the goat and the people dancing around the fire? Oh my God! Yeah,
were any of the people nude when they were dancing around the fire, or were they all in robes?
They all had robes on. I mean, they could have been nude underneath. I didn't stick around long enough, during the festivities afterwards to see, because I didn't want to become part of the festival, so to speak. Well, so I backed out of there real slowly.
Yeah, you could have been part of the sacrifice.
What a night that was! Some of the idiot, stupid things I did back in my younger days. That was one of them.
Well, people don't realize there is cults out there yet that, you got the, how can I say it? You got like the witchcraft and the cults that are the good witches, okay? They don't really do any bad spells unless you do something to them, and then they'll retaliate back at you. But they're not out trying to cause, harm, hurt anybody, or hurt animals. Then you got the other ones that, they're really into demons and to the devil worshippers. Those are the ones you really have to watch out. So if you're going out there ghost hunting, at an old cemetery at night, or you're going to an old farmhouse way out in the middle of nowhere, you don't know what you can run into. And you got to be careful.
Keep your wits about yourself. Don't do it intoxicated. Be sober, for the love of God, because you need all your senses for sure. Yeah, and beware, be vigilant. Look around. Not just people, but buildings have rotten wooden floors and roofs that fall in on your wild animals or whatever. You got to keep on your toes for sure.
Oh, yeah. I mean, depending on where you live, I mean, you can run into coyotes, you can run into, all mountain lions and all cougars and bears and all that type of stuff, or, even Bigfoot, who knows? But you got to be careful. Not just that, you just named the whole thing. Be careful, because you go into like an old building, you don't know how sound it is. I mean, especially if somebody hasn't lived in it for 40 or 50 years. And, you go walking, and how do you know they didn't have a cellar? And the next thing you know, you fall in that cellar, and you can't get out because you broke your legs. You're dead.
That's true. You don't know, and you don't know how bad the termite. There could be termites been eating in there for 20 years. Who knows? You lean on a wall or a beam, it falls, and the whole floor falls in on you. Or you fall down into the basement and land on something, sharp, and you're going to bleed out before you get out of there. And another thing, let people know where you're going. Let people know where you're going. So if you come up missing or you're not home in time, somebody knows where to go to look for you,
Well, they do sell a emergency locator. You can buy it for around $200 and some. It's not nice. Just for going out, say, on a ship or a boat, and it sinks, you send your, turn on your locator. It's even great for people going back packing, looking for a Bigfoot, for example, or going out in the Tules, ghost hunting in old abandoned houses and farmhouses. You get one of those things because your cell phone, undoubtedly, some of these areas is not going to be working, and so it's not going to do you any good. if something happens where you fall in a cellar or something falls on you, you turn it on. It alerts the authorities. It tells them within like 20 some feet where you're at. I mean, you're going to get help.
Yeah, it's like having your own mini black box on you, pretty much, right?
Oh,
Something
yeah.
like that?
Yeah, so, I mean, to the people going out like Bigfoot hunting and all that stuff, that's amazes me. I ever since I had that one guest on, I said, do you pack a weapon when you're out looking out, you're hiking out 10, 15 miles out in the woods, looking for Bigfoot? Do you have anything? Oh, I got a 4-inch knife. Well, what are you going to do? Clean your toenails with it? I mean, seriously, if a cougar comes after you or anything, what are you going to do with it?
It's like peeing on a forest fire to put it out. It's not going to happen. Oh, my.
And that astounds me. And what I'm getting is, guys, if you're going out, and you're just now starting out ghost hunting, don't do it by yourself. Join a group, and get to know it and join a reputable group, okay? Don't join a group that's looking to be on cable TV and have their own TV show, because undoubtedly they're not real ghost hunters. At least a lot of them aren't. Find yourself a legitimate, group that are really into ghost hunting. It's done it for a while. And learn, even if you have to, be the guy that is the grunt that does things for him. Learn it that way. If not, at least, talk to a couple of them and ask questions, what type of equipment you should have, what you should do, and what you shouldn't do. And like you mentioned earlier, okay, if you're going out ghost hunting and going to such and such buildings or such and such prison or such and such, let people know where you're going to be there and a time frame and all that stuff, and give them your license plate number and all that stuff in case you don't return.
Yes, definitely. My goodness. And you know what? Working at the bottom, even at the grunt, which usually means setting up, running the extension cords and setting up cameras, that's a great way to start, because you learn the equipment. That is important. A lot of people don't know the equipment. If you learn the equipment and then techniques and get insight and information from everybody, the more information you get, the more knowledge you get, the better. And just be respectful and have the right attitude. Don't go in there. If you go in there confrontational with spirits, they're going to bite you. They're going to bite you hard. Believe me. And they can follow you home. You got to protect yourself. This no joke. This is not I know a lot of people take it for a hobby. It's not a joke. Believe me, I help a lot of people from investigators that have paranormal problems because they went into this with the wrong attitude and lack of information and knowledge, and it's very important. The more knowledge you get, the better.
And it damages the paranormal, because if you got people out there not knowing what they're doing, it's just damaging, everybody else's reputation. But I'll tell you this, if your house is haunted, or your old business establishment or your property is haunted, okay, stay away from any ghost hunting group that wants to charge you money. Okay, yeah, if you got to pay for them to come out and investigate your house, get away from them, please, because, I've heard cases on my show where people end up having to pay $300, $800, $600 to have a group come and spend a couple hours at their house, and they were social groups. And the bad part is, if your house is haunted, you could be stirring up things if you don't have a professional group there that you don't want stirred up. So maybe if you had people knocking on the walls at night, you might have things that kind of a little bit where you maybe kind of put your life in danger too.
And to add insult to injury, you're paying somebody to come in and stir them up for you and tell you that your place is haunted that you already know is haunted. You need somebody that's going to help you with the paranormal problem, whatever it may be, assess the situation, and hopefully it don't charge. I've never charged nobody to help them, ever. Never will, and never will either.
Well, I don't mind, saying, hey, if you want to donate, afterwards, that's cool,
Yeah.
But to come up and
say, for me to say, hey, I need a flat fee of $300, $500, I'll come in and I'll walk around for maybe 2 hours and tell you it's haunted or not, and then I'll see you later after I stir them up.
Yeah, and they run down and cash your check at the bank before you have a chance to put a stop payment on it. But I mean, seriously, can you honestly do a major, if somebody's saying their house is haunted, right? That their door opens and slams, or they get bangs on the walls, all right? Or things are moving around the house, or they wake up and they got unexplainable scratch marks on their face or their back or legs or arms, right? Do you really think a ghost hunting group can come to your house and spend an hour or two and say, "Oh, gee, yeah, you got demons, or you got whatever, your house is haunted"? I don't think you could do that. You can't do a complete.
I would personally. I like if I could investigate all week long, 3 days, 2 days at least. I mean, I know it's hard. You can't always do that, but it definitely you definitely got to spend some time there, and you got to look at all avenues and all aspects, and talk to all the people, do your research, and whatever it takes, get all the information and knowledge you can, and look at all the evidence you can, and debunk all the stuff you can. Look for animals and insects and EMFs and fungus and molds and everything. You gotta check the whole list off.
Oh yeah, I mean, even people, getting electrical impulses. A lot of things can be. It could be bad wiring in the house. It could be causing it.
Even high power tension wires that's going on, they can emit so much. Maybe that a lot of them are old. Maybe it could be some of them's faulty that's running off a lot of high EMFs into people's houses. It can make you hallucinate, make you see things, give you headaches, all kind of things.
Well, I was talking to somebody here recently, not on the air, but they want to come on my show, and I ask talk to people a lot of times before they come on my show, just to get their feel. And their case was they said that their house was haunted, and they were getting all these weird readings and stuff like that when they were doing, the readings. And then a lot of it turned out that right next door to them, right, there was a cell tower. Mm-hmm. Now, a cell tower is a transmitter.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, that could give out, who knows who knows the real science on it, but I can tell you if it's putting out, it's a transmitter and it's electrical, could cause all kind of things. And if they're malfunctioning or over outputting what they're doing, we don't really know, but I can tell you it's going to do something. It's going to emit some kind of results or effects on people, for sure.
Well, I'd tell you one thing. I sure wouldn't want to have a house next to high-tension power lines, I'd tell you that. No,
because even if you don't get high EMFs or something like that, the PCVs from give you cancer and everything else from it, and it's a lose-lose. I mean, it's a lose-lose. It really is.
Well, James, I burned up the time. I actually even gone over it a little bit. Again, tell everybody when your next show is, and and how they can find you to watch you.
Well, you can find me at Spiritual Paranormal. It's a public group. You don't even have to be a member to come in and look around or whatever. And I run my show out of that group. And my next guest is Marjorie Phelps, and she is a noted author in the paranormal and reincarnation in that kind of field. And I'm very excited to have her. She's going to have a treasure trove of information on reincarnation and the paranormal. And you can come into my group, Spiritual Paranormal, on Tuesdays, my next show at 7 p.m. Eastern Time.
Oh, great.
And I hope everybody tunes in.
Well, I hope so, too. Hey, my friend, thank you for filling in the last part of the show, and, stay out of trouble if you can. Hey,
I love it. I love coming on anytime to help out, buddy. And thank you again for that recorder. I love it. And thanks for having me.
Yeah, do you think I caused any enemies here tonight? Because I'm sure the couple people I was talking about will figure out real fast I was pointing at them, I hope.
I don't know. There's so many that fit that category. No.
Yeah, it's true,
Well.
Hey, I was thinking, I had
Yeah.
before we get out of here, I had a dream the other night, and this is probably because I was on the medication when I went over the rail. But I am going to start in November on Fridays to go Facebook Live for the first 20 minutes of my radio show.
I heard that. I'm excited about that.